Hello YouTubers, this is Nova Scotia Dave here. I just purchased a diesel heater there from Amazon. It's a 8 kilowatt heater there. And this unit here, it's about 16 inches long and that, about 5.5 by 5.5. And the bottom there is where you put your fuel line, your exhaust, and your intake in here. Came with your fuel pump, your 10-liter tank. And this particular one here actually has a threaded fitting on here. A lot of the ones there you've seen, you had to end up fishing a line to the bottom here and that and try to put a fitting here and that, but this already came with it here. You have your intake hose, your fuel line, instruction manual, remote control, your muffler, your wiring harness, pretty straightforward, your clamps and your intake muffler and your fuel filter. And this is the fitting there that goes onto your tank. Your display here, your mounting plate, the vent here to adjust the airflow coming out of the hose. And you get the hot air hose, and you have the hose there for your muffler. I'm going to be doing it in stages here. Like I just thought I would just show you what's included in the kit here and that. And once I find a place I'm going to install it and that, I'll be filming again there. So stay tuned. This is a transformer I picked up on Amazon. It's a 30 amp. I went 30 amp and that because there's not much difference in price between 20 amp and 30 amp and that, so I figured more is better. One thing you have to make sure is that it comes preset at 220 volts and that, so you got to make sure that you switch it to 110 volts, otherwise it's not going to work. Something else I did too, to make sure, like I had an old cord in that, I wanted to make sure that the polarity was correct in that to the pin, so I used an ohmmeter on the plug and on the end there to make sure that I had the one that was the hot wire, the neutral, and the ground. And this is the load, the neutral, and the ground here. So then it works correctly. Something else that you have to do too is that after you have it plugged in and that, make sure that the voltage is correct. There's an adjustment screw here that you can adjust the voltage up and down. I checked it already, and it was 12.2 volts, so that should work fine. I decided to mount the unit on the other side of the wall here. That way there it didn't take up room in the garage here, and then it's going to be a lot quieter. So this is where I'm going to be mounting the unit. Yeah, altogether this weighs about 13 pounds and that. I found a board and I cut on the inside here so I put the mounting plate and the hoses can come out there, and the brackets there where I'm going to be screwing it onto the wall. So this is how I have it mounted right now, and it seems to work quite well. You know, I have the cables going down, the fuel pump, the tank. And one thing you got to make sure that the fuel pump is in a vertical position. The fuel filter and the fitting. What I did is I used some pipe tape on there to make sure that when I screwed it on there that it didn't leak. And then I have the muffler going out. And I have it going outside. Depending what model you have, what you have to do is that to make sure that you prime the pump prior to installing it, you know, like to the heater itself and that. So what I did is that I just ran it up, and then what I did is I disconnected it from the top there, and I'd turn the pump on and watch the fuel go up the line there until it reached the top. And Every unit there is a little bit different there for setting up for priming the pump and that, but this one worked quite well. This is where I have it coming out of the wall here, and all I have is just a pipe coming down here, just directing the air outwards. And then underneath, I put my power transformer, my display here, and I have it easily so I can plug it in. I've got a watt meter that will tell you how much power it draws and that, and I'll be showing you in a second there the difference between a parabolic heater and this unit here. As you can see, I have the parabolic heater working right now, and right now it's drawing 8.52 amps. Just having the transformer plugged in there, that's how much amps it's drawing. I started up the heater here, and first off it starts drawing like 1.34 amps and that, because it's just ramping up. And you'll find that once everything starts kicking in there, it'll probably go up a little bit higher, but then it's going to drop after. Here the fuel pump is kicking in. And it's starting to ramp up now. Now the glow plug is stopped working there, so you see the amps drop quite a bit. As you can tell, it's a lot noisier out here. This is why it's kind of nice to have it at a remote area there, so you're not going to have to hear that all the time. But one thing you have to make note of is that the exhaust, the pipe coming out there and that, it gets very hot, and the muffler gets very hot. One point I was going to mention there, at the very bottom of the muffler, you see there's a hole. You have to make sure that that is pointing down there, so any moisture in the muffler itself will be able to drain. There you see a few little air bubbles in there, but that doesn't affect the working of the heater. And right now on high, that's putting out over 100 degrees coming out of hot air. And it's still running under 1 amp, so it doesn't draw a lot of power. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video that I made of my a diesel heater that I just installed in that. I've always looking for something that that was economical to heat the garage and that, especially in the cold winter days. There's nothing worse than working in a garage that's chilly and that, you know, like it just not as much motivating in that. So anyway, I think I spent probably close around maybe around $200 Canadian for the transformer and the heater and stuff like this. So I figure that you know, like it's a pretty economical way of heating it, and as you can see, it doesn't draw a lot of amps, it doesn't take a lot of fuel in that, you know, like, and once it's up to temperature there, you can power it down a bit, so then it's not, you know, using as much fuel there, not putting out quite as much heat in that. So I think overall it's a pretty good unit there for heating garages, motorhomes, or anything else in that you need. So anyway, if you like this video there, make sure that you subscribe and hit the like button there. See you later.